hands had a life of their own. Then he stiffs me for the tip. Morty, when are you going to learn to squeeze the toothpaste at the bottom?
When you stop using my razor on your legs. I looked in on your mom.
And?
Ah, her back is killing her again. Doc says she's going to need another operation.
Guess we kind of knew that, didn't we?
Yeah.
So how'd it go today?
Usual stuff. Oh, Mr. Waxman, you're a convicted felon. That's nice. That's good. Try us again in 20 years. Thanks a lot.
Police have no leads. Now, Mr. Bellamy, I understand these works of art were virtually priceless.
That's right. There were 4. They were the cornerstone of my collection. I'm devastated.
Thank you, Mr. Bellamy. And that's the story from this exclusive North Shore estate, where a thief tonight made off with 4 paintings by the great French Impressionist Pierre-Auguste Renoir. Masterpieces estimated to be worth $10 million.
I'm finished, Harry. I have had it.
Had what? Cookie? Cookie, what are you doing back there? I wanted my eggs scrambled, not hatched.
Harry, I got 1 cook and no waitress. So take it easy. You'll live longer.
Deadbeats, lowlifes. You know, you've finally gotten through to me, Harry.
I have?
I am finished with being a pushover, a bleeding heart for every loser without a penny to whatever his name happens to be at the moment.
Now you're hitting on most of your cylinders, McGinnis. I mean, haven't I been telling you this?
You've been telling me that, Harry.
Yeah, and you know why I've been telling you that? Because you and me were both too good for this penny ante stuff. Hey, I'm not a kid anymore. And where am I?
You're in Gilhooly's waiting for cold, scrambled eggs and burnt toast.
Here we go.
Thank you.
2 early bird specials. Harry, I'm sorry about the wait. This isn't like Cheryl. Usually, speaking of which... Hey, Cheryl. I hope it didn't inconvenience you any getting up before noon.
I'm sorry, Cookie. We had a little problem at home.
Shirley, what's the matter?
It's Morty. He's been arrested.
What?
For stealing those paintings.
The Renoirs at the Bellamy estate?
What? You gotta be kidding. Morty wouldn't know a Rembrandt from a comic book.
Renoir.
Yeah, whatever. But, I mean, he's been straight for what, over a year, hasn't he?
He swears he didn't do it. But a couple of witnesses claim they saw him.
Wasn't he home with you?
He said he was playing poker. Oh, I know he's telling the truth.
Okay. Listen, McGinnis, you know what we were talking about before?
You mean the new direction our careers were going to take?
Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, I mean, a friend is a friend. Besides, I owe the guy. He's done me a lot of favors, like opening doors for me.
You mean breaking and entering for you? No offense, Shirley.
None taken, Mrs. McGinnis. But all that was in the past. He's a changed man.
Yeah, besides, McGinnis, if Morty was planning some kind of a job, which I'm sure he wasn't, he'd hit some tract house in Brockton, for God's sake. But he sure as hell wouldn't be dumb enough to hit the Bellamy place.
Yeah, I was there. But I was only thinking about it. You know, things being so tight and Shirley's mom needing another operation.
And when was this, Morty?
About the same time I saw this guy sneaking out with some kind of rolled-up package.
You saw the thief?
Yeah, but I couldn't make out what he looked like. Well, it was real dark, and I was, well, you know, I was just cruising by.
Yeah, just thinking about it, huh? That's great, Morty.
Well, look, Harry, please, whatever you do, don't tell Shirley.
But the Bellamy place? You gotta be nuts. I mean, that place has gotta have better security than Fort Knox.
Yeah, I guess I just never thought about that, Harry. Look, all I knew is I had to make a big score. I mean, toaster ovens, TVs, they don't pay a lot of medical bills these days, you know?
Will you stop? Look, I don't have time right now. I've got 2 reports that have to be on the lieutenant's desk by 11 o'clock, and oh, God.
Irene's kitchen magic, huh?
Oh, she's killing me. How did you survive it, Harry?
A dog.
A dog?
Saved our marriage, for a while at least. The Bellamy report, Howard?
Okay, Harry, okay. So, what about this dog?
Huh. Alarm system never went off, huh?
The dog, Harry.
A big dog with a strong stomach.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's survival, Howard. You slipped the dog your food, or that stuff Irene cooks for you, under the table. Who was Bellamy's insurance carrier?
It's right there in front of you, the Muir Group. So what do I do for nourishment?
That's the beauty part, Howard. You gotta walk a dog, right?
Huh?
Only this mutt, you don't walk. You tie him to a tree, then you drive to the nearest pizza joint and grab yourself a couple of slices and a beer. No kidding, the Muir Group, huh?
Yeah, listen, for whatever it's worth, another PI already checked out this report with the lieutenant's approval.
Oh, yeah? Who?
Didn't get his name. Nice suit, though. You wouldn't know him, Harry. He's a young guy.
The Muir Insurance Group does not want you within 3 miles of those paintings. I do not want you within 3 miles of those paintings. We have our in-house investigator, best man in the business, on the case. So, if you'll excuse me.
5%.
What did you say?
Come on, Gloria. 5%, the usual recovery fee. No questions asked if I come up with the merchandise. 5% of $10 million. Nice and round.
Excuse me. I have a staff meeting.
Oh, you want me to go upstairs and check it out with the chairman of the board?
What I want you to do is go downstairs and out of my life. The last time you damn near cost me my career.
Oh, come on, Gloria.
The Muir Insurance Group does not enjoy paying $2.8 million claims.
Hey, could I help it if that dingus happened to go flying out the window?
And happened to land on the railroad tracks just as the train was coming? Transforming the dingus, as you so quaintly refer to Richard III's virtually priceless coronation cup, into a lump of junk metal and diamond dust. All because you went charging in there, waving your gun.
I was trying to arrest the bad guy.
We didn't want to arrest them, Harry. We wanted to pay them. Which brings me to your friend Morton David Waxman. We know he stole the 4 Renoirs.
Baloney.
It could be in your interest, too, if he'd just bring back the paintings.
Gloria, what is it with you people? You don't give a damn who took them, do you?
You still don't get it, do you, Harry?
I mean, what about dishonesty, for God's sake? What about thievery?
Oh, look, I don't have time for this. When your client does decide to relinquish the merchandise, call us. Oh, Harry, they're terribly fragile and brittle, and in no way are you to touch them.
Stuff it, Gloria.
Don't take it personally. I'm sure you shoot great love nest snapshots, Harry. The point is, you couldn't get past the front door of the circles my people have to travel in.
Oh, yeah? You're pretty sure of that, huh?
And this is virtually the only one of this group that isn't already in a museum, Mrs. Clifford. And this period was far and away his finest.
Well, it's really exquisite, Victor. Only well...
Why don't you give it some thought?
Perhaps I should.
Well, of course you should. It's a very important decision. Good day, Mrs. Clifford.
Goodbye.
You were not to come here. Relax. The police got their thief, that meatball's second story, man.
Until they prove otherwise. Well, since you seem to enjoy living dangerously, where are the paintings?
Sit down.
Oh, now just...
Sit down! This job was too easy, LeConte.
What are you talking about?
I think you know. That security system's the best, and yet it was almost like I was walking through an open door, almost like I was expected. Almost like there might have been a little arrangement between you and the socially impeccable Mr. Bellamy.
Lou, that is the most far-fetched idea I've ever heard.
Considering what he stands to collect from the insurance, that 50 grand you're paying me looks lousier by the second.
You've got this all wrong. Look, I want those paintings now.
Not until the numbers change, Victor. Like 200,000. Or I take the insurance company up and it's no questions asked offer.
I don't have that kind of money.
Bellamy does. I'll give you 24 hours. Don't even think of anything physical, because the goods are hidden where you're never going to find them. Then if anything happens to me, the police will get my version of the story.
Bellamy speaking.
Problems. Sandry wants more money. You tell that creep he's out of his mind, you hear?
We should pay.
Wrong, pal. You picked him out, you deal with him.
Listen to me.
PJ, you find out if those paintings have been fenced yet?
The man you asked me to call, Mr. Gebhardt, when I told him the information was for you, he wasn't too, cooperative.
Come on. What's that supposed to mean?
He hung up on me.
Great. Listen, kid, I want you to get me the deep skinny on George Bellamy. I want figures. I want finances, where he got the paintings.
Harry. It's all in here. Of course, it involves a little reading instead of talking.
Yeah, Ellie, I'll tell him you called. Harry, Ellie wants you in her office right away. What bit him?
Seems like the same old lovable Harry to me.
Harry, this is Lawrence Packard. He's chief of investigation at Muir Insurance Group.
I've heard about you, Mr. McGraw.
Oh, yeah. Gloria Billings is one of my biggest fans.
Mr. Packard is here to discuss some things about the Bellamy theft, and I thought you should also be here.
As I was telling Mrs. McGinnis, we believe that her client, Morton David Waxman, has the 4 Renoirs in question. We believe that in a moment of weakness, Mr. Waxman broke into the Bellamy mansion and removed the items from the premises. We happen to know that Mr. Waxman's mother-in-law is under the care of Dr. Milton Zimmer, that she has been hospitalized 3 times at Brigham Women's in the past year for a total of 19 days. She has unpaid medical bills amounting to $9,377 plus interest at 1.5%. And she is in need of further surgery for her chronic lumbar problems.
Listen, Packard, could you be a little more specific?
The Muir Group has no desire to see this poor woman suffer, Mr. McGraw. We are therefore prepared to offer a substantial finder's fee, provided that said artwork is returned to us in undamaged condition within the next 12 hours.
Oh, and you guys will just look the other way while Morty Waxman takes the heat, right?
McGraw, it is not our policy to persecute people for their mistakes. Here's our offer, and it's final. Upon receipt of the missing items, a cashier's check to Mr. Waxman for $75,000. Plus, the company will, to whatever extent possible, intercede on Mr. Waxman's behalf with the district attorney's office.
Yeah, there's only one small problem, pal. Morty Waxman didn't steal the damn things.
McGraw, Mrs. McGinnis has offered no objections. Why must you proceed?
McGinnis, are you telling me you sold Morty out?
Harry,
Is that it?
Stop it. I'm as offended as you are, and I do believe it's time for you to leave, Mr. Packard.
I'm surprised you feel that way, Mrs. McGinnis. This is an opportunity for you to earn a decent fee, which, judging from your client list since you took over your late husband's practice, I'm sure you could use. Oh, and McGraw, in case you're considering any further investigation into this case, I suggest, in the strongest terms, that you stay out of my way.
$75,000. Are you sure Morty didn't steal those paintings?
McGinnis, he told you.
I know what he told me. What did he tell you?
Look, I read this guy like a book. I can read him like the funny papers. I know in here, I know he's clean.
You're reading your chest pains. Meanwhile, that good humor man is spitting out facts and figures like a computer.
Look, do you believe in Morty or not?
I believe in you, Harry. And that's good enough.
Hard line. What hard line? We are talking about a professional thief. We're talking about a habitual criminal. Morton David Waxman is the lowest of the low, a man with contempt for society. Actually, we are addressing a much larger issue here. We're talking about a climate of lawlessness. Society run amok, and it is time for law-abiding citizens to stand up and be counted. It is time for the Morton David Waxmans of the world to be taken off the streets and to be kept off.
Tyler, if I thought you believed a single word of that, I would be out of here faster than you can say, I humbly accept my party's nomination for mayor. Now look, my client did not steal those Renoirs. Nor did he even set foot on the Bellamy property. And except for a couple of people who think they saw him, you don't have a case.
Ellie, dear heart, you're whistling in the dark, and you know it. Hi, croquet this weekend, the Cape.
I'd be delighted, Tyler.
However, I see no reason that this case cannot be successfully resolved to the benefit of all the parties concerned.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I might, just might, persuade the judge to accept the defense of impaired judgment if the paintings are returned to me.
Do you want the reward money also? Tyler, have your political aspirations totally destroyed your sense of restraint?
No, you keep the money. Sure, you're going to see that it's used for the benefit of Waxman and his family.
While you present the paintings to George Bellamy in front of all the news cameras.
Well, I suppose the press would show up.
And this entire conversation has been a tap dance because you've already cut a deal with Lawrence Packard.
A deal? Oh, we've had a couple of discussions. What's so shocking about that, Eleanor? It's business. Your client is going to come out smelling like a rose.
Oh, which is more than I can say for you. Good grief! Is everyone and everything for sale? Maybe Harry's right. Maybe there's no justice left in this world.
Please.
It's a first. This really is a first. You're telling my client, the insurance company is telling my client, Morty, we don't want to prosecute you. We want to throw money at you. We want to fix your mother-in-law's lower back. We want you to live happily ever after.
No, this is not the place to
Tyler,
have this conversation.
I wish he had stolen those paintings, because if he had, he'd be set for life.
Late for a court date.
McGraw, burglary.
Wait, officer, you can't just barge in here.
Hey, just because I'm a few minutes late, I got stuck in traffic. Where's your boss?
Hudson, what seems to be the problem?
Mr. Bellamy, officer...
McGraw, I got a couple of questions I want to ask you.
I've already given you people more time than I can spare.
Hey, this will only take a minute, maybe two. This was them?
Yeah, that's where they were hung.
Things a little tight?
Tight?
The lights. Boy, do I know that one. The electric bill seems to come about every 5 days.
Old habits. I grew up on your side of the tracks, you know.
No kidding. You know, not many people notice that. About me, I mean. Well, Mr. Bellamy, you sure as hell beat the game. I mean, from this part of town, you can't even see the tracks. Listen, you might answer me a question? With the kind of money the insurance company's offering, doesn't it strike you as a little bit odd that the thief is apparently still holding on to the paintings?
What kind of question is that, McGraw?
The kind asked by sleazebag private eyes, looking for a score.
You're not with the police?
I never said I was, pal.
Then I want you out of here and off my property now.
Well, you want to answer my question?
I said now, or I'll have you arrested for trespass.
I'll see him to his car.
Hey, easy on the threads, Packard, or you'll get a bill from my tailor. Hey, doesn't it interest you at all that your buddy in there's got money problems?
George Bellamy, you gotta be joking.
Well, maybe if you could see past the dial on the end of that gizmo, you might have noticed. It's called observation.
Really? Well, this is called a computer, McGraw. And it makes a few observations of its own. Such as the fact that George Bellamy is president of 7 interlocking corporations, plus his holding company, Belleville Industries, which has an aggregate net after-tax income of $12.3 million. A 22% increase over last year, which is 17% better than the year before. Now, I understand how someone like yourself might find those figures unimpressive. But to the rest of us, that constitutes serious money.
Well, maybe you shouldn't believe everything that little thing tells you, pal.
Maybe you better give some thought to the dinosaurs, Tin Horn, and why you don't see a lot of them around anymore. Yeah, Packard here. Excuse me.
Must be great having a machine for everything, Ace. You never have to use your head.
It's final. Look, between Packard, the police, and this clod of a gumshoe, McGraw, someone's liable to get lucky.
And I get left on the clothesline, is that it? Well, you listen carefully, friend. If I take the fall, I'll take you down with me.
Forget it, Lecotte. Who's going to believe you?
Harry, are you listening?
I'm listening.
The fact that George Bellamy likes to conserve electricity is no evidence that he's having financial difficulties. Nor is it evidence of Morty Waxman's innocence, some shred of which we sorely need.
Sorry to interrupt. Tyler Chase just phoned with a message for you, Aunt Ellie.
Oh?
It seems that Packard found a heel print on the Bellamy property. The police lab says it's a definite match with Morty Waxman's shoe print.
He said he only drove past.
And Tyler also wanted me to tell you that his offer for reduced charge has been withdrawn. He's, quote, got your client dead bang, unquote. He wants the paintings, period.
Oh.
Somebody's got those paintings, McGinnis.
Obviously, Harry, probably my client, in spite of your gastritis.
And whoever's got them is holding on to them. Why?
They could have taken them out of the country by now.
No, that's not my gut feeling, kid. The guy Morty saw stealing them, maybe he's holding out for a better deal than the insurance company's offering.
But from whom?
Artwork that famous, anybody wealthy enough to pay for what it's worth certainly knows it's stolen goods.
Another thing, you should have seen that Bellamy place. It's loaded with paintings. Why didn't they steal them? Why just those 4? There's something in here that fits like a garage sale bathrobe. EJ, what'd that article say about the paintings?
It says, here it is. Bellamy purchased them 5 years ago from Victor Leconte, who obtained the Renoirs from a French farm family that discovered them in their barn, and then Bellamy had them authenticated at his own expense before buying them for an undisclosed but estimated price of $1.5 million.
Now they're worth $10 million? My gosh, with compound interest, that's...
Loan sharks.
Loan sharks?
Loan sharks. These days, anybody that moves around a large sum of money, it shows up on somebody's computer, right? But if you don't want to go public, you go to the guys with the little black book. Yo, listen, Fanucci, I got a question for you.
Let me guess, McGraw. You decided to make a career out of getting in my way.
Wrong, hotshot. I'm still a detective. And no matter what your computer says, I was right about Bellamy. He got a private loan.
At 10:35 this morning from Alfred Hollings in West Roxbury. $300,000 at 14% a week, to be exact. Good afternoon, Hudson.
I believe Mr. Bellamy's in the pool.
Thank you. It's all right. He's with me.
Hey, Packard, how the hell did you know about that loan? Oh, wait a minute, wait. You talked to Fanucci, too, right?
I have my own sources, McGraw. Actually, I do owe you one. For once, you were right. It seems Mr. Bellamy's empire is indeed on the verge of crumbling.
Looks like the butler was right, too. About him being in the pool.
I understand this Hollings is an independent loan shark.
Not quite independent. He's bankrolled by Big Eddie Felder from South Philly.
McGraw, please. Are you sure the amount that Bellamy borrowed?
Absolutely, $300,000.
It was less than $800 cash in the house. Significant.
Hey, I know it really breaks your hearts, fellas, but this sure gets Morty off the hook. I mean, being in stir, he couldn't have possibly...
In all likelihood, the murderer is an accomplice of Mr. Waxman.
I thought it's precisely, Larry.
Probably the alarm system specialist.
Yeah, from the very beginning, I thought this fellow Waxman was too much of a lightweight to have done the job on his own.
Oh, come on.
And since Waxman refuses to reveal the whereabouts of the paintings, and the accomplice knew how to get into the house anyway, he figured he'd at least get something out of it by pulling off a solo robbery.
Bellamy catches him leaving the house with the money and...
Oh, sure, and then he plugs him twice, in the back. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, Tyler, look, looking at all this, doesn't it make you kind of wonder why Bellamy was doing business with a loan shark?
Do you mind, McGraw? I'd ask you why you were not on top of things like Larry here, but I think the answer to that question is fairly obvious.
Hey, wait a minute.
Thanks for the help, Larry. I'll be in touch as soon as the report comes in. We'll do lunch.
Terrific, Ty. Oh, and McGraw, since you haven't seen fit to respond to my very generous offer, Forget it. I'll take the finder's fee, and Waxman will simply have to take what's coming to him.
Hey! Hey!
You never said word one about murder, so all bets are off. Capiche?
No. Wait. You're wrong. You must believe me. I had nothing to do with it. Please, you don't understand. I've got to have those paintings. Now.
I'm really worried. It's been hours, and every time I ask if he's all right, he just mumbles, "Go away." Harry.
Harry, it isn't all bad. I mean, at least we found out that Morty couldn't have murdered George Bellamy.
I'm getting out.
Harry.
It's time.
Time for what, quitting?
Time for facing the truth about myself.
Oh, Harry.
I'm past it. I'm old news. I'm a dinosaur.
You mean you're not Lawrence Packard?
Something like that, yeah. That kid's been 5 miles ahead of me from the get-go. I mean, guys like him, that's where it's at, McGinnis. It's the kind of guy you ought to get to do your cases for you.
That's not the kind of guy I want doing my cases for me.
Come on, look around, will you? Look at this place. Look at me. Look at my car. Yeah, I'm still picking locks and sitting up all night on stakeouts, and the whole rest of the world's using computers and sweeps and micro, what do you call it?
All right, now what about talent? What about intuition? You have a gift for this kind of work. You're a very good detective. Now let me finish. You're the one who first thought of checking out the loan sharks. You're the one who suspected George Bellamy might be having money problems. All right, Lawrence Packard took advantage of it.
Yeah, you got
but if
that
it
right.
hadn't been for you, you would have...
Hey, come on. Nice try, kid, but no cigar. Hey, look, you're looking at a guy whose mind has turned to mashed potatoes. And there's 10 tons of stuff about this case that I should have been able to put together like a dime store puzzle. Like, why haven't those paintings turned up? Why would the guy who copped them murder Bellamy? And so on and so on. Nah, maybe the answer's in there someplace, but the part of my brain that used to be able to figure things like that out must have died when I wasn't looking.
Harry, it is a temporary lapse. You're tired. I'm certain that
Come on, cut it out, will you?
Harry, do you suppose that the person who murdered George Bellamy is not the person who stole the paintings?
McGinnis, you got a banana in your ear? You got questions, go ask Packard. But please, leave me alone.
No, I'm not going to leave you alone, Harry.
Fine. I'll see you around.
Oh, good. Very good, Harry. It's not enough that you're wallowing around in despair. Now you're running away from the truth.
McGinnis, I never ran away from anything in my life. Except maybe that one time when the Sarducci brothers came after my kneecaps because I had the hots for their sister.
Go ahead and leave, then I don't have to listen to your tedious self-pity.
What self-pity? Hey, you weren't listening, were you?
Oh, I heard it all, Harry. I heard it all! You were outguessed by a wet-behind-the-ears computer twerp with a Ferrari and a white suit. And that ridiculous Gloria Billings, who thinks you're faking it. Well, who are they, Harry? Nothing in comparison to you. You know what your trouble is, Harry? You're scared of a little competition.
Yowza, yowza.
Well, maybe I should go and see Lawrence Packard. After all.
Wait! Quick, McGinnis, where do I go to find out about Renoir?
The Boston Museum.
Yeah, where do I find that?
I'll show you.
Come on.
Will you lighten up? Get things in perspective, Gloria.
$10 million claims are not terribly compatible with fun and games.
Oh, come on. It hasn't even been 48 hours yet. Bait's out. The police have our man. One of them, at least. Now it's just a matter of time. Yeah. Yeah, I'll talk to him. Rest of the fish are beginning to jump. This is Lawrence Packard. How may I help you?
Yeah. I figure we can kind of help each other, Mr. Packard. I've got the 4 Renoirs. Oh, and I didn't kill Bellamy.
Who did what to whom is of no concern of the Muir Group, sir.
I want the full 5%.
I understand. Small bills. Old.
Yeah. That's right.
You know, some of these aren't half bad. What does one of these go for a pop?
Well, start at $500,000, Harry, and work up, way up.
Yeah, it sure beats the hell out of most of the stuff in Gilhooly's men's room. Except for that guy Picasso. I could paint like that when I was in the 3rd grade.
Exactly what are we doing here, Harry?
Just a screwy idea. Now, where would I find a guy who can paint like this Renoir?
Good afternoon.
McGraw, I only agreed to see you because you insisted you had something for us. Now, what is it?
Gee, Gloria, you know, your bedside manner could use a little polishing up.
Get to it, McGraw, or get out.
Okay. I've got the paintings, and I'm willing to deal.
Time's up. Out.
What, after all this, you don't want them?
We've arranged for their recovery, Harry.
An hour ago. The party who phoned me was able to describe the method of entry, plus other details of the crime that only one of the thieves would have known.
Hey, a lot of people were in and out of the Bellamy place after the theft. The murderer, the cops, even Captain Marvelous here.
The lady said goodbye, McGraw.
I don't suppose you have any proof that you have the paintings?
Not on me.
You see, Gloria?
On the other hand, Slick, the lady knows I don't lie.
Oh, come on, Gloria. I mean, look at the guy. He's nothing but a 5th-rate, broken-down loser. He's even inept at pulling our chains.
Okay, pal, have it your way. I got a couple of fences just jumping all over each other, waiting to put in the winning bid.
McGraw, wait. Standard 5%?
Plus the penalty.
Penalty? What penalty?
Yeah, for Golden Boy's lousy attitude. And yours. Comes to a nice even $750.
750,000? McGraw, you can go straight to hell.
Right. Listen, it'll take me about an hour to get to these other people, so if you change your mind.
Gloria.
Suppose it isn't a bluff.
Oh, please.
Larry, that bozo you talked to could have been anyone. You didn't even get his name. At least McGraw's been working with Morty Waxman, who we know took the damn things. Look, we're not talking tigers painted on black velvet here. We're talking $10 million worth of Renoirs. Are you willing to gamble that he doesn't have them?
Okay. I'll deal with the dirtball. And since we know he's as witless as he looks, it'll cost the company zip.
If only I'd had another couple of hours, Mr. McGraw, it'd be finished. I can't imagine how it could be of any value to you in that state.
Oh, no, this is great, Matthew. Besides which, we're running out of time.
Well, as you wish.
Is this great or what?
Extraordinary.
Amazing.
But Harry...
Hey, don't sweat it, kid. This'll do the trick.
In my portfolio, there are some much better examples. Oh, no. Keep your money, Mr. McGraw. Call this a labor of love.
Matisse, Holbein, Rubens.
Mr. O'Meara, your range is absolutely amazing, but I don't see anything of your work in your own style.
Well, I tried it for a while, Mrs. McGinnis, when I was a young man. Landscapes, seascapes, some portraits. Competent, but not what you might call inspired. Then one of my teachers suggested I try copying the masters. Spoil me, it did. Seeing things through their eyes. I've had a wonderful life. I've been Michelangelo, Tintoretto. I was even Vincent van Gogh for a short time. But that wasn't much fun. Poor fellow was so unhappy.
It was the weirdest thing, Mr. LeConte. I was going through my grandmother's attic looking for my old baseball mitt. It's a Dominic DiMaggio special. When all of a sudden, there they were under a whole bunch of family heirlooms. These 4 Renoir paintings. I don't know where they got there, but I mean, I figure they got to be the same ones that were glommed off of that deceased Bellamy guy.
And just what made you think I might be interested in this information, Mr. McGraw?
Well, I read where you were the guy who sold him to Bellamy in the first place, right? And how you got him off of this French family, was it? Who found him in their attic? I mean, I just love funny coincidences like that.
Yes, yes. And the price?
Oh, well, actually, you know, they're kind of pretty. I sort of hate to give them up.
How much, McGraw?
Well, see, I wouldn't ask for much, but Grandma needs a whole bunch of new teeth and a nose job, and her left eye is kind of...
McGraw.
300,000.
Oh, that's out of the question. I don't have that kind of money.
You don't? Geez, I would have bet Grandma's farm you did. Well, look, if you can come up with it, fine. If not, there's always the insurance company, and plus a couple of other connoisseurs I got on the hook. Anyway, I'm holding a little auction tonight at the Riker Street Garage, lower level, 9 o'clock. Hope you can make it, pal.
Harry.
McGinnis, what do we got to lose? If this doesn't work, Morty Waxman's no worse off than he is already.
This is Sandry. Come on, pick up the phone. I'm not here. Just talk after the beep. I know you're there, you lying little creep.
Are you out of your mind? Our arrangement was that you never call me here.
Oh, that was when we had an arrangement, when you still had the merchandise.
Still? What are you talking about? Of course I got him.
I want my 50,000 back, and quickly.
Oh, you do you? Well, what?
I think you know the answer to that one, my friend.
That better be the money you're carrying, LeConte.
It is. No, not until I see the paintings.
McGraw, you do surprise me. I knew you were a crook, but I didn't think you were this resourceful. You can leave now, Mr. LeConte. I'm prepared to outbid you.
But I...
Forget it. Here, take a look at these so we can get out of here.
McGraw, I got the money. The whole $750, right?
I said forget it, Einstein.
Oh, it looks genuine, but in this light...
Hey, listen, say no more. I tell you what, let's put your mind at ease. Why don't we go get these things, authenticated? You probably got a lot of buddies over at the Museum of Fine Art. Be willing to check these out?
No, it won't be necessary.
Oh, no, I insist. I mean, even though certain people don't like to believe it, integrity happens to be my middle name.
Yes, but just, please, just count the money and I'll be on my way.
Wait a minute. You don't want to get these checked out, do you?
Well, certainly I would, but under the circumstances, I'm willing to forego.
Sure. What was it, about 5 years ago? George Bellamy, the kid from the wrong side of the track, starts to hit the big bucks and decides to collect art. And since you can smell a gonif all the way from the 8th pole, you decide to let him in on a little scam. You just happen to have not one, but 4 tickets to the upper crust. 4 fake Renoirs.
Oh, no, that's not
fake. McGraw, are you out of your mind?
Yeah, and then when his cash supply started to dry up, you and him cooked up a plan to have him stolen.
Yeah, 10 million bananas can plug a lot of holes in a leaky business.
Look, Mr. LeConte, why don't you just let me handle it?
Shut up!
Oh, my God.
McGraw, the paintings now.
And now I know why you were so anxious to get them. If the cops or even the Duca detectives here ever got their mitts on him, somebody would have figured it out.
That's enough, McGraw.
Will you stop waving that thing around?
And 10 will get you 50. That's the gun you popped Bellamy with, right? Then you grabbed the 300 big ones you got in the briefcase.
I had no choice. George was livering out on me, and he was leaving me to take the heat.
No, you can't shoot me.
He's got to, cream cheese. You're a witness.
McGraw, do something.
Hey, guys, before he pulls the trigger...
Freeze, LeConte!
What do I have to do, get it in writing?
Lower the gun. Slow. You have a right to remain silent. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to the attorney.
Gloria, it worked out just the way I had it figured.
Larry, you're finished.
What did you say?
I think the lady said you fell flat on your microchip, pal.
Well, you called it, McGraw. The tap on LeConte's phones worked. We picked up the real thief a half hour ago with the paintings.
With the paintings?
Oh, yeah. This is the best we could do in a couple hours. I think this will be dry by the time you get out of prison.
I just wish I could have watched Lawrence Packard's jaw hit the floor.
Lawrence Packard is a smooth operator of questionable intellect who does not possess Harry's natural perseverance and intuition.
Right.
There is more to investigation than microchips.
You gotta have heart.
I already said that, Harry.
Ah, you gotta have a feel for the streets. You gotta be able to smell the fear.
Let's not go overboard.
I hate to sound mundane, but could we talk about money? I mean, Gloria Billings paid us, right?
Oh, yeah, 10,000 clams.
Which Harry has generously split with his favorite attorney.
And some of which, hopefully, will flow towards yours truly.
The operative word, Stephen, is trickle.
So, Harry, how does it feel to be solvent for a change?
Terrific. I'm all caught up on the rent, the gas, the electric, Spinelli.
Leaving only his faithful and uncomplaining niece, to whom is owed 4 weeks' back pay, Harry.
4? Oh, geez. EJ, see, the thing is, I gave Shirley a few bucks to help with her mother's medical bills.
You too?
McGinnis, you?
Listen, Steve, I guess you and I have to pop for breakfast.
Oh, no, come on. No, I can still cover breakfast, hey. How much is it?